Hi everyone, this is Joey from 22 Halo Media. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a virtual machine in VirtualBox. More specifically, we'll be creating a Rocky Linux 9.4 virtual machine, and this is going to be part of our ongoing virtual machine series. This will be part 2. So if you're not sure how to install VirtualBox, then you can go ahead and watch the first video before proceeding to watch this one. But let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that you're going to want to do when you're going to download a virtual machine is you have to make sure that you have the ISO file for the operating system you're going to install. And you can go ahead and get that by just going onto the web and typing in Rocky or whatever operating system you want to install and then ISO. And you'll see the very first result is going to be a download page where we can select the version of Rocky we want, which is going to be Rocky 9.4. And then you'll just click on the DVD ISO option and it'll go ahead and start downloading. So that's what you'll need to do before you can create a virtual machine. And then you'll also want to know how much system resources you have. In Windows, you can go to Task Manager and Performance, and then just take a quick glance. How many cores do I have? I have 16. I have 16 gigabytes of memory, and I have 2 terabytes of disk space. So we'll know that my memory is kind of limited, but I can give it quite a few cores if I want to, and we can give it quite a bit of disk space if we want to. So now that we have the ISO file and we know what system resources we have to allocate, go ahead and click on New, and then you'll type in a name for the virtual machine. I'm going to type in Rocky 9.4, and then you select the ISO image. This will probably be in your downloads if you just downloaded it. For me, it's in a folder where I put all my ISO files. And you'll want to select the type and version. For Rocky, this is going to be Red Hat Linux 64-bit. But if you are using, let's say, Ubuntu, or any other sort of Debian, any other sort of Linux distribution, they're going to have an option for that. So you want to make sure that you select the correct one. But for us, it's going to be Red Hat 64-bit. And then also, they do have Solaris, BSD, IBM, Mac OS, and Windows. So it does cover quite a bit of different platforms. Pretty much any operating system you can get an ISO for, you're going to be able to create a virtual machine for it in VirtualBox. Now we're going to skip the unattended installation. What this is if you wanted to try to create a user and give it some specifications like a username and a password, put in a product key, host name, domain name, install guest editions, do it all automated without having to manually go through the install process, you would do the unintended install, but we're not going to do that. Now you go ahead and allocate the amount of hardware you want to give it. I'm going to give it 3 gigs of RAM, and we're going to give it 8 CPU cores because I am going to use this for some kind of CPU intensive tasks. So we'll give it quite a bit of cores. And now we're going to give it some hard disk space. The default is 20 gigs, and that's plenty for a Linux distribution, but I do plan on installing some packages and stuff, so we're going to give it a little bit more. We'll give it like 50, because I don't plan on installing anything big on here per se, but 50 gives it enough space. That'll be good. And if you know that you're not going to make the storage space any smaller, and you're not going to make the storage space any bigger, I recommend pre-allocating the full size because it'll make it a little bit faster. It'll take initially a little bit longer for the virtual machine to be created, but it'll be a little bit faster. Now, if you think that you're going to have to increase the storage space, then don't pre-allocate the full size. You're going to want to leave it as a dynamic disk, and then you're able to move the slider back and forth after you've already installed the virtual machine. So you can see now it's creating the medium, and this is because I selected that pre-allocate full size. So it is going to create that medium now. And then something that you're going to want to do as well is go into settings, go to system, go to, or it's actually display, go to display, enable 3D acceleration, and then put the video memory up all the way. And this is just going to make the experience a little bit better. And then start it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and install Rocky Linux. All right, so once it finishes installing, you'll just need to go through the installer options. For the language, I'll be choosing English. If you want to do any sort of custom partitioning, you'll change the installation destination, but I'm perfectly fine with automatic partitioning. And the root account is disabled by default. That is okay. That's what we want. I'll put in a user and a password, and we'll actually make this user an administrator as well. Since we don't have a root account, it'll be a sudo user. We'll go ahead and create that user, and we'll select the disk for automatic partitioning. Says no disk selected. Let me select it again. Automatic. Okay. Click done again. There we go. Now we can begin the installation. If you are trying to get your mouse off the screen and it gets stuck, what you're going to want to do is click the host key, which is going to be the right control on your keyboard. Again, that's control key on the right side of your keyboard. When you click it, what happens is you're able to get the mouse out of the virtual machine. So you can see right here that the host is set to right control. So I'll show that again. If I click inside the virtual machine, you know, my mouse is stuck. If I just click the right control once, then my mouse pops out. So that's how you do that. All right, so Rocky Linux finished installing. We just need to simply reboot the system. Okay, and now you can see Rocky Linux is installed, and I should be able to sign in. I might have, yeah, I typed my password in wrong. All right, so we are now signed into the Rocky Linux machine. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for videos to come.